Online piracy in India represents a significant challenge in a digital age, blending complex legal, cultural, and technological issues. With one of the world's largest internet user bases, India faces unique challenges and opportunities in combating digital content infringement. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving technology space. And I'm your host, Priya Dayalani. Now, from the film industry to software companies, piracy affects a wide array of sectors, leading to substantial economic losses and ethical concerns. We will definitely delve into how this particular issue not only undermines intellectual property rights but also affects the creative and technological industries. To enlighten us, we have Siddhant Jain, CEO and co-founder of Vdocipher, to talk about the evolving legal landscape in the piracy industry and the role of public awareness in addressing this problem. Hi, Siddhant, how are you doing?
Yeah. Hi, Priya. Good to connect. I'm doing great.
Great, Siddhant. I think let's start with telling our listeners more about what exactly is Vdocipher and its specializations.
Sure. Yeah. So at Vdocipher, we provide video hosting solutions with high secure privacy protection technology targeted towards content creators, e-learning, and media platforms. So to put it in simple language, suppose you are a content creator who is providing, say, a course at a certain price or a movie at a certain price, and you are publishing it online. So the number one fear which you have is that someone will download and pirate this content and distribute it for free across internet, across Telegram, or across social media, and you will not get new users who will subscribe to your premium content. In a way, you will lose out on piracy. You will lose out on revenues due to this piracy. So that is the number one challenge which the premium content creators, whether it is e-learning, media, or say arts, these kind of businesses or organizations have. So we address this problem. At the same time, the second challenge a content creator or an e-learning or a media platform faces is to ensure good viewership of videos and good listenership of audio at peak scale and across the world. Even in tier 2 cities, for example, in tier 2, 3 cities, content should play well and smoothly. So, so as a company, we do these two things. We ensure that your revenues stay protected by providing high secure encryption and watermarking technologies to prevent piracy. And secondly, we provide a very smooth video player which can play content all across the world very smoothly, even in tier 2, 3 cities of India, Asia, or Africa. That is what we do. And for since we started, we have been doing this for now over 3,000 plus businesses or organizations across 120 plus countries.
Quite impressive, Siddhant. Thank you for letting us know about Video Cipher, and definitely it feels that the company and the entire team is trying to focus on a very core issue that's rising in India. Well, not just India, I think all over the world. But moving ahead, I think you, as a CEO, and probably earlier, I think you have not only fostered a culture of innovation, but you have also contributed to academia and being the author of an internationally published research paper. So we would also like to know more about yourself, of your journey till date, or your contribution towards the company.
Sure. So I will just take a few minutes to tell about the story. It can be a bit interesting for some people. So we started this while we were in college in IIT Delhi. So me and my co-founder Vibhav Sinha. So I am the CEO and co-founder, and he is the CTO and co-founder. So I am the business co-founder. He is the technical co-founder. So we were hostel mates and friends in college, and we were pursuing engineering. So at that time, like in hostel, obviously there is a lot of piracy which happens in the hostel network, where people share pirated movies, pirated lecture content, lecture videos, and ebooks. So the problem of piracy was very obvious to us. At the same time, I had a roommate and friend named Satish who was into providing chemistry classes to students. Okay, so as a part-time thing, apart from engineering degree, he used to go to offline centers in Delhi and even outside Delhi in other states to on weekends to to teach chemistry to students who are preparing for engineering exams like IIT, etc. And he was a very passionate teacher. He was so that he wouldn't sit for placement, and his only motto in life was to be an educator. Okay. So at that time also, he was very concerned that if he tries to put his content online instead of just doing purely offline, then his videos might get pirated, and his premium content, his premium notes and videos, they will get pirated, and he would lose out on new students and revenues. And as a budding new teacher who has come up in market, So he was very skeptical about putting his best content online. So at that time, we thought that of course there is a problem of piracy, and the problem of piracy is for the teachers or content creators, but at the same time, it is for students, because if people like Satish, they don't put their best content online, then students will also suffer. Ultimately, if India has to progress, or say any country has to progress, a lot of teachers are needed putting their best content online. And if due to some fear, say fear of piracy and or other factors, they don't put their best content online, then it is loss even to the student community. So at that time, like Vivo and I collaborated to build out a solution which can address this piracy. And so we started doing this while we were in college. By the time we graduated in 2015 July, we already had 6 paying customers and 1 lakh of monthly revenues. Then in 2016, we got some small amount of angel funding from a group of investors, and then we slowly progressed. So this is how we started. And then till like we have not taken any VC funding. We have tried to grow sustainably at a good pace. In last 3 years, like we have been also profitable, and we have currently a team size of 40.
Quite a fantastic journey, Siddhant, I would say, and quite relevant. I mean, I feel quite relevant listening to your story. And definitely, I think with your growth size and how the companies are growing, I think it's important that we're heading in the right direction. And if we're talking about India, I think I just came across this study which says that India is ranked as the third highest contributor after the US and Russia of visits to content piracy websites, with over 7 billion visits through torrent sites in 2022. Now, if you talk about 2024, I think that we have surpassed, I think, beyond 8 million, I would say. But that clearly justifies that online content piracy is a significant issue, and not just in the film and the music industries. I think with your journey that you just mentioned about, I think it's pretty much clear that every person who is trying to put up content online probably will face this issue. And of course, with India, which has a country of a large population of internet users and access to high-speed internet, I think the issue of more pirated content is increasing. So I wanted to understand from you, what are your views on the current landscape of video piracy, specifically in India?
Yes, Priya. So you put it quite rightly that initially, when people talked about piracy, they only thought about big movies being pirated before the day of release or just within 1 2 days of release. That is still true, and that causes a lot of revenue loss to the Indian movie creators. So, and like to both pure on the offline cinematic release, and also now with OTT platforms. So that is a major issue. So like there was a study done by Empire Research Firm, which was quoted by Live Mint, and they mentioned that the OTT media piracy in India causes around $2.3 billion loss to the movie creators. That is a media loss. I will just give some like 2 3 other key say numbers which are not related to just media. So if you know about Telegram apps, so Telegram has groups where there's a lot of e-learning courses piracy. There are hundreds of groups with 10,000, 20,000, in some cases 50,000 plus users, and they are freely pirating a lot of educational content which might be related to engineering, medical, UPSC or government exam preparation, software engineering, data sciences. If you see the news sections in last 1 year, there have been 3 4 cases against Telegram in Indian courts for this kind of piracy. So that is like a major thing. And we also did some like internal analysis on tools which people use to pirate, and we calculated that what is happening. So we saw that there are around 110 million users globally for the top 10 piracy tools. So there are plugins and extensions which people can use to download videos, and there are around 110 million global users for these kind of tools. This the piracy is affecting like the media people and also e-learning and content creators, and these were the some Indian stats which you and we mentioned. So sorry, I forgot what was the second part of your question.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand, what are your views on the current landscape of video piracy in India? Like, what do you think, in which direction it is moving right now?
Right. So yes, so the direction is this that now like we have seen over the time that hackers have become more smart, and they are using platforms like Telegram to share it to like 20,000, 50,000 users in a single group. And you know that law implementation in India is not very quick and very effective, especially if the case is not very criminal in nature. Suppose there is some murder, then it might be different. So while people have gone to cyber police, while people have gone to courts in India against piracy, which is happening on primarily on Telegram and some other platforms, the consequential good actions have been quite less as compared to how many complaints the police and government have received. So that is a challenge. So that is why, as a solution and as a company, what we want to do is that post piracy is one thing which can only be handled till only a certain level with kind of laws which India has, and also in online people can hide their identity quite well. So what we are doing is we are trying to prevent piracy. Okay, so we don't want that the video should be downloaded and then we take some legal or copyright action. We have a high secure technology providing encryption, watermarking, and piracy tracking technology, so that we already block any piracy attempts and the content doesn't get downloaded. Going ahead, it is necessary to solve this problem, because if the premium content creators, so when I say premium content creators, I don't mean just somebody say teaching say physics math. Suppose someone is teaching yoga, meditation, dance, cooking, sewing. We have customers like that. So they should be able to put their best content online for India to get skilled and also for them to make money. So yeah, that is it.
Right, yeah. I think you pretty much explained as to how video piracy is impacting the revenue for the entire nation, I feel. And what are some of the ways that probably Vdocipher is addressing these issues effectively. But I think when we go back in 2000s, I think around till 2015, piracy involved more dedication and effort, both on the part of the pirate as well as on the part of the downloader. Now, pirates go to extreme lengths to obtain content, whether ripping official CDs or DVDs, or smuggling a camera into cinema hall to record a running movie, or patiently waiting through hours of programmed television in order to capture the entire run of a show. And now, since we have OTT platforms or Telegram, like the examples that you gave, I think there are a lot of things that these hackers are now involved into. But now that all content has been voluntarily put online over various platforms, it has become easier for pirates to copy the content using advanced software or using advanced hacking techniques and obtaining the backend file from confidential sources. So there are a lot of ways that, while our technology has evolved and has been transforming different industries, I think hackers on the other hand also leveraging the use of these emerging technologies and ensuring that their objective are quite met. So I wanted to understand, like, with the evolving landscape, if you could share some success stories or example where your solution or the company has significantly tackled the issue.
Right, Priya. So, in terms of examples, I will just mention three, four key things which we do in terms of security. So,
Sure.
firstly, we provide a very high secure encryption, which is called DRM, that is Digital Rights Management Encryption. So, it is the same technology which is being used by likes of Netflix or say Hotstar in-house to protect piracy. While somebody can say Netflix or Prime Video or Hotstar, they can try to do things in-house, but most other media, e-learning or content creators, they can't manage these technologies themselves because it is technically quite intensive. It takes a lot of months or year to build it out, and cost-wise also it is not quite affordable. So we have tried to democratize this security so that from a single educator to a very large education or very large media businesses, all range of organizations or businesses, they can have the access to best security technology. So one part is this strong encryption to prevent illegal video downloads. The second part is like preventing screen capture and user-based watermark. So suppose you are watching the videos and your some detail in some small manner, not very opaque, it will be somewhere in the video so that you are discouraged from sharing the screen captured content elsewhere. In many cases, we can prevent screen capture, but in some cases we can't. So the watermark is for that. And the third is a like offering which we have released in last around 6 to 7 months is a piracy tracker and hacker identification tool. So going ahead, like we what we have done is previously we were just blocking piracy. Now we catch certain symptoms from the very advanced hacker. Suppose someone is sharing their access and password to 10 people, or someone is using very sophisticated tools to try to hack content. We also tell you which user of yours actually attempted this, so that you can take more stronger action against them in terms of blocking their account or even if in sending in terms of legal notice. So this is a new thing which we have come up even in identifying the exact user who was subscribed to your platform and which attempted piracy. So these are the three things which we primarily do. But at the same time, we ensure that the user experience is best. So we also do provide a player which plays in these platforms, website or app, which ensures that the student or the media consumer they get the best viewing or learning experience. So in terms of one or two examples, so during COVID, like a lot of people had to forcefully move online. So there was a institute which was primarily catering to tier 2, 3 cities and providing government exam preparation based courses. So they had to shift forcefully to online during COVID. And but so they didn't have the technical know-how, so they relied on us for security and video streaming technology, and they grew quite well during the COVID. And within just like within 2 years, when they moved online, they grew to 10 lakh plus of user base on online medium. So that was one case. And in the second case, the first e-learning platform in Tunisia, they like it was started by a physics teacher, and they only had 100 or 200 students. And they again had the same problem that they were trying to put content online, but they wanted to ensure piracy protection and smooth user experience, because Tunisia is also a developing country like India. So they started with us 8 years back, and now they are currently catering 300,000 plus students, and they have 300 teachers on their platform. So these were the two examples.
Great. Yeah, quite impressive, Siddhant. Thank you for sharing your success stories and also giving us examples as to how your platform works and addresses the issue. But moving ahead, it is not just illegal activity that generates impressive amounts of data. The effective monitoring of illegal activity also provides us with a huge amount of material to work with. Now, for example, I just came across a study which said that 1.5 billion new suspicious links are analyzed per month. 1,600 streaming links that can be identified for a single popular sporting event, and 1 TB logs are collected each day. Now, this is a lot of data to work with. And I think here comes the role of artificial intelligence because it enables us to execute a holistic approach to working through the tsunami of information that is passing across our servers and swiftly and accurately identify patterns. So, when we're talking about artificial intelligence, it's not a new technology. So, I wanted to understand what are some of the technologies or technological innovations that probably a Vdocipher is leveraging right now, and how that makes it different from other platforms in the market.
Right. So these were the new interesting numbers or facts which I didn't knew. But surprisingly, the technical challenge you mentioned and the numbers you mentioned, we have experienced those technical challenges and numbers ourselves. So it is quite correlatable. And glad
Hmm.
that you talked about those numbers and challenge. So, for example, we are doing certain like some single digit crore of views, or you can say tens of millions of views each month. Okay, and we log each playback session, whether it is the video is viewed or not. Every playback session with 100 plus parameters is logged at our end. So yes, so we also have big data running into. So we have videos of over like say few petabytes, and also in terms of just the logs of users, we have quite terabytes of data. So we try to identify patterns in which typically, since we have now 80 years experience on how like typical a pirate behaves, we have logs on how people try to do piracy, which are the popular tools or technologies which they attempt piracy, and we log all of these things. And so it is a big data problem. So to be frank, in terms of security detection, we are doing a lot of analytics and data science, but in terms of security, we are not doing AI. We are doing AI for some other features like auto transcription, subtitling, but in security, it is primarily a lot of data analysis and data science. Okay. So, in terms of output, we in last 6 months, the piracy tracker and hacker identification tool which we have made, it has blocked 57,000 sessions of potential piracy. It detected 780 unique users who were trying to do this piracy, and 290 user accounts were permanently blocked by our customers, and seven users or hackers were such where our customers also took legal action by giving them a legal notice or reporting them to cyber police.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a very important when we're talking about data and how, while we know that data plays a very important role, but it also comes with its own set of challenges and important how you make sense of the right data and deal with the challenges associated with big data, like you mentioned. You also mentioned that you basically take a proactive approach rather than a reactive way where piracy happens and then you probably go a legal course of action or issue a copyright statement or a copyright issue with the client. But I think, I mean, that's pretty much right because I think copyright laws are enforceable. However, it involves a very tedious litigation, which is time consuming and involves a heavy evidentiary burden, which will be difficult to achieve. On the other hand, I also feel that pirates are experts at reposting content at ever new locations after being taken down from one site. I think in India, one positive development that we have seen is that courts are allowing dynamic injunctions to tackle online piracy, especially in cases with more suspicious online links spreading over a very short period of time. While these are some of overall issues in the content piracy industry, I wanted to understand from you, while you guys are taking a proactive approach, what are some of the challenges that you are facing in industry and how do you intend to overcome them?
Yes, so again, quite good practical facts, Priya. You have researched it well before.
Yeah,
So I will tell you about two things. So in terms of what are the challenges which we face in terms of providing this pre-piracy solution, and also some post-piracy measures which we do or our customers do, and how it has evolved in last 2 years. So in terms of
right.
pre-piracy solution, which is our main offering and what is our technical innovation. So what we have seen is that security technology is such that firstly it is not 100%, it is always 99.9999%. How, like, you have to work on making it 99.999. For adding each nine, you have to work a lot. So, and also you need to keep it updating. So in last 5 years, we have updated our security and play-by technology three times to make it more secure. Because as we and content becomes more popular and hackers become more smart, they attempt new and new piracy tools. So, as an example, in these days, the piracy which is happening for, say, Indian lecture content or Asian lecture content, it is not only done through Indian hackers. There are a lot of global hackers which we have seen on forums and in our logs. There are a lot of global hackers who help Indian students or Indian hackers to pirate this content. So that is the level of involvement which global hackers now have in the Indian piracy. So we have to update our security technology. So as an example, I mentioned in last 6 months we added a new piracy tracker technology, and we keep updating our security technologies to always keep it at the highest. So we claim our security to be highest in the world industry, not just in India. In the world industry, we claim our security to be highest. In terms of post piracy, sometimes there are levels of security which we suggest to a customer. Like we have seen that if there is some small leakage of our customer, or say if there are some companies which are using some other platform before and they come to us and then they say that our content was pirated here. So there are actions which you can do on in terms of reporting copyright to Telegram or other platforms, which we suggest to them that this is how you can do with it. And since we have some bit of this experience, so we do help them in this copyright or based takedown. In terms of Indian courts taking action and India being proactive, so I also heard few talks by our previous IT by our IT minister, Mr. Chandrasekhar, and he mentioned about these things. But the still challenge is some of the platforms where the piracy happens, they are not Indian entities. For example, Telegram is not an Indian entity, so they don't listen well to the cyber police or Indian court. Okay, for example, to police cases, they listen quite a less. Okay, so they will just ignore the police complaints or police reporting until it's a very, very extreme, serious, some say terrorist kind of case. To courts, they listen a bit more. Suppose Delhi High Court gave some order, they listen a bit more, but still they are not able to, as of now, they don't reveal the actual identity of the hacker. So that is the issue. While Indian government is trying to do more and more steps, but the platforms which are not not registered in India, like they are still posing a challenge. Going ahead, I will appeal to the government to make laws in such a manner that the platforms which are serving in India, they might not be registered in India. They should face the consequences and they should do hard actions to prevent this kind of piracy from happening.
True, very well said, Siddhant, and I agree with you. I think we really need more stricter laws and regulations around content piracy and video piracy, specifically in India, because I think once we have those established set of rules and regulations, then definitely we can bring down all those whooping statistics regarding content piracy down and ensure that we are maintaining revenue within India as well. So, but I think right now, if you consider advertising and subscription-led video streaming services are losing up to 30% of their annual revenue to pirates in India alone. So I believe that this problem is definitely solvable, and with Vdocipher coming into picture, I think it plays an important role in terms of mitigating these issues. But it will take some time, is what I feel, and it is expected to grow only because it feels that millennials and Gen Z individuals find pirating software and entertainment content perfectly normal. Apart from government rules and regulation, I feel it's individual responsibility as well to be aware of all the issues related to content piracy and have more faith in a very systematic approach to solve this issue. So I wanted to understand from you what are your views on the future of video piracy and what is the role you envision that Vdocipher will play in the future of content creator economy in India amidst the escalating challenges posed by digital piracy?
So I will just provide a different angle. So we will, as I mentioned, we will
Mhm.
keep updating our security technology to block all such piracy attempts and to also regularly catch hackers. Because if you catch, suppose there is an education platform, if you catch say 3 or 4 hackers and you publicize it, then other people also know that you can be caught and they don't do such actions. So we will keep working on that. But also at the same time, we want to say that we want to provide a best online learning experience to the viewer, we and our customers, so that they have the enough motivation to buy from the exact source. So the reason why somebody is just getting, so there is of course there is a price difference. They don't want to pay the price for an actual course or movies. So the OTT platform prices have come down quite significantly. Okay, so they range from anywhere from 100 rupees to 500 rupees a month, but the lecture content prices are still anywhere from 5,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees or even more annually. Okay. So, but if the value which is provided, so the pricing cannot be decided by us as a company, the e-learning companies decide the pricing. But if in terms of features and offerings, the value which is being given to the students or the viewers, it is quite good enough, then they will subscribe to the course or the content. As an example, so in our player, we now do automatic English subtitles, and we'll be doing like other languages as well. So for even like complicated medical lecture content, okay, we can do quite good transcripts. Then we provide very visually high quality playback at slow internet connections or even offline. So even in tier 2, 3 cities or villages, there are a lot of viewership where people get to consume content quite well. Then we do chapters where like the say a long lecture is classified into different sections for easy study. So there are a lot of features which we have added on to our player in terms of good viewership and good learning experience, so that the student has enough motivation to try to watch the video online and not just like get it somewhere offline. So, and also as an like if I have to give a suggestion to the content creators, it will be that if you are updating your content well enough and you have enough other features in your app or website which also provide value apart from just the videos, and overall for the students or the viewers also there is a bigger motivation to subscribe to your session. For example, something like doubt sessions, okay, or say lecture content. Now, doubt sessions, if they are pirated, it is not of much effect. So, doubt sessions can only be live. So, you can always add value to such form of other communication.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that suggestion. I think that's a pretty good idea for all the content creators, and I hope that the listeners can benefit out of it. So I think as India continues to make strides in a digital world, addressing the issue of online piracy is crucial for protecting not only the rights of content creators, but also fostering innovation and ensuring a very fair and equitable digital environment. And the battle against online infringement in India is not just a fight to uphold the law, but it's more of a collective effort to respect and nurture the creativity and hard work that goes into creating digital content. Well, thank you so much, Siddhant. It was a pleasure talking to you. And I think we have highlighted some important aspects in terms of what role technology can play in terms of mitigating digital piracy and how Video Cipher is poised to shape the future of mitigating the challenges of online piracy in India specifically. Thank you so much, Siddhant. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Priya. Thanks for having me on the podcast. And I will have to say this that I have done a decent number of interviews and you had done the best research beforehand. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Siddhant. Well, this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for our upcoming podcast, and you can view and listen all our previous podcasts on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.